Not long ago, Westerners were mostly in agreement that the neo-Nazi Azov Battalion was horrific. After all, who wouldn't be upset with statements like this one?
The Ukrainian nation's mission is to lead the white races of the world in a final crusade against Semite-led Untermenschen.
That was a quote from Andrei Beletsky, one of Azov's founders and its first commander. In 2014, he was elected to parliament and served for 5 years, despite the whole country knowing that he founded not only Patriots of Ukraine, but also the Social National Assembly. These were two neo-Nazi organizations that became known for attacks on Ukrainian minority groups. Around the same time, Azov was integrated into the National Guard, making Ukraine the only country in the world to have neo-Nazi regiments in the official armed forces. And President Vladimir Zelensky still doesn't seem to lose any sleep over that.
Azov Battalion, that is said to be Nazi-affiliated organization operating as a militia in your country, said to be committing their own atrocities.
Azov was one of those many battalions. They are what they are.
In 2018, Azov's sister organization called National Druzhina was rolled out. It became a modern equivalent to Hitler's brown shirts and pledged undying loyalty to Beletsky. It wasn't long before they also began to terrorize Ukraine's minority populations.
The Druzhina quickly distinguished itself by carrying out pogroms against the Roma and LGBT organizations and storming a municipal council. Earlier this year, Kiev announced the neo-Nazi unit will be monitoring polls in next month's presidential election.
Ukraine's former interior minister and close friend of Beletsky quickly gave National Druzhina his full support, while the growing piles of human rights abuses began to grow even faster.
A man with a mental disability was subject to cruel treatment, rape and other forms of sexual violence by 8 to 10 members of the Azov and Donbass battalions in August-September 2014.
A resident of Mariupol was detained by 3 servicemen of the Azov Battalion. He was continuously interrogated and tortured. He complained about being handcuffed to a metal rod and left hanging on it. He was reportedly tortured with electricity.
Abductions, robberies, extortions, executions. Amnesty International pleaded with Kiev to get a leash on its neo-Nazis, but to no avail. In 2018, the U.S. banned sending weapons to the Azov Battalion. But as a National Guard unit, it could still receive military aid intended for the Ukrainian government. A year later, U.S. Democrats tried to add it to the country's list of foreign terror organizations, but yet again, they failed.
It's clear that the threat we face today is of a self-radicalized gunman. Somebody who has been radicalized online, whether it's in accordance with jihadi ideology or a global white nationalist, neo-Nazi group.
Take a look at the tactics of the Ukrainian military and ISIS, for example. You'd be hard-pressed to tell them apart. Human shields, torture, prisoner executions. The New York Times, which typically tries to whitewash the crimes of these neo-Nazi regiments, even verified one of the many videos portraying them on the internet as undoubtedly authentic.
He's still alive. Film these marauders. Look, he's still alive. He's gasping. A man says as a Russian soldier with a jacket pulled over his head, apparently wounded, is seen still breathing. A soldier then shoots the man twice. After the man keeps moving, the soldier shoots him again, and he stops.
And the minute Russia steps in saying it actually wants to put an end to these injustices that people have complained about for so many years, all of a sudden, neo-Nazis are given a free pass.
For the time being, we are making a narrow exception for praise of the Azov regiment strictly in the context of defending Ukraine, or in their role as part of the Ukraine National Guard.
To many in the West, neo-Nazis have become nationalists. War criminals have become patriots. How easily people have put 8 years of crimes and terror out of sight and out of mind just to stick it to Russia.